Peter was a strong man. He was self-confident. Listen, he was a commercial fisherman. Not only used to battling the wind and the waves, he's used to long nights out on the open water, hard work. He's not afraid of danger. He was the kind of guy who, once he made a decision, he followed through. He was a man of his word. He was the kind of guy who decided to follow Jesus and walked away from his career, and he never looked back. You know, I think it's interesting that as we read, detailed accounts of the life of Jesus and the disciples, never once in 3 years that he's traveled with Jesus do we read about Peter complaining about having to sleep on the ground, or not knowing where they're spending the night. We never read about him complaining about walking literally hundreds of miles, about continuously missing meals, about not being able to sleep with a wife at night, about completely giving up not only his income, but what's even harder for a man, his independence. He didn't get to decide. Get up every morning. It's kind of like, being a private in the infantry. Anybody been there? I have. He's given up all of his independence. You get up in the morning, you find out what you're going to do moment by moment, right? He's given all that up. You see, from Peter's standpoint, and really from an outside observer standpoint looking in, Peter was a strong man, and he knew it. But then the world is full of strong men. It always has been. And physical strength does have some value. Here in Alaska, our own Matt Ballard, he has ranked among the best raw powerlifters. That's powerlifters who don't have any supported gear on in the world. And in fact, he placed third at the Pro Raw Challenge in 2013 and set the world record in the bench press. He placed fifth in the world in South Africa in 2014 while breaking his own bench press world record. In 2015, he placed second at the Pacific Invitation in Melbourne, Australia, and once again was the bench press champion. His best lifts are 727 pounds in the squat. He deadlifted 683 pounds, and his best bench press is 585 pounds. Take a look.
Another important lift, and this is a milestone for Matt as well. 705 pound squat international competition.
If he wanted a milestone lift,
That's a big jump for the world record. Bars ready for Matt Ballard, IBF world record. Everybody get behind Matt. 120 plus kilo open world bench record. 528 pound. And the good to say,
Bars ready. Matt Ballard. 656 on the ball.
Three for Matt. Bench 3 for 3.
That's impressive, isn't it? And that's why Amy teaches at the Christian school there. So if you ever need anybody to help you back out of moves, you just give her a call here and get a hold of Matt. And man, I'm telling you. And physical strength does have some value. But I want to tell you about a strength that has even greater value. When Matt is competing, on his t-shirt, which you couldn't read right here in this clip, but in that world of strongmen, here's the message that's on his t-shirt. 1 Corinthians 1:25. For the foolishness of God is wiser than human wisdom, and the weakness of God is stronger than human strength. Isn't that beautiful? Okay, even in the world of strongmen, okay, of the elite powerlifters in the world, he carries into that his testimony, okay, his witness for Jesus Christ. A number of years ago, we brought up a team of strong men, all Christians, to share the gospel with our community. And they broke baseball bats over their knees, and they had us, you know, going to the post office and pulling the racks of phone books, you know, and they're tearing those phone books in half, and they take fry pans and roll them up like burrito shells, and they were busting concrete blocks with their forehead and with their forearm, and we lit everything on fire, and they were breaking stuff up. I mean, you know, the place was absolutely packed. People have always been impressed by great physical strength. And you know, the Bible talks about a man who could have done all of those things and more. Who we believe was the physically strongest man in human history. And as if to make every other man in history jealous, this guy didn't even train to get strong. He's kind of like Andre the Giant in The Princess Bride, who says, "It's not my fault, I'm the biggest and the strongest, and I don't even exercise," right? Well, this guy's like that. He didn't have to train, he didn't have to work out, it wasn't even genetics. This man's strength was a gift from God. Like Jesus, this man was also born to deliver his people. Like Jesus, this man's parents were also visited by an angel who announced his coming birth. But unlike Jesus, this man, Samson, was just a man. Now, like all of us, God had a purpose in mind for Samson's life. You know, He has a purpose in mind for your life. And like all of us, God gave Samson some specific instructions for how he was to live. And He gives us instructions as well. But unlike all of us, the Spirit of God came upon Samson in the form of physical power. He was like a physical dynamo times 100. When he was attacked by a lion, he tore it apart with his bare hands. He was in a fight against 30 men, 30 against 1, and he struck all 30 down. But that's nothing. He struck down 1,000 men with the jawbone of a donkey. Would have been a bone about this long. Okay, he used it as a club. Struck down 1,000 men. And it is so often true with the gifts that God gives to us. Oftentimes, they come with requirements. And Samson, for his strength to continue, he was given a requirement. He was never to cut his hair. He was set apart to God at birth. He was called a Nazarite. This was as an infant boy. He was never to drink wine. He was never to cut his hair. This was to set him apart from his people. But Samson had a problem. See, the potential problem with physical strength is the same as the potential problem in whatever area is a strength for you. You know, whether it's your beauty, or whether it's your intelligence, or whether it's a particular talent, or whether it's your wealth. Strength in this world often leads to vanity. I mean, that's just a simple, it's just a simple truth. Strength in this world, it just often leads to vanity. We get an inflated opinion of ourselves. And once that happens, then Satan has us exactly where he wants us. Because that's the place then where we start to rely on our own strength as the key to happiness, to our success, to our fulfillment. And when we begin to rely on our own strength for those things, we will end up empty every single time. That's the place where you are guaranteed ultimately to fail. Samson was handsome, and he was vain, and if he wanted a woman, he took her. See, he didn't know it, but his strength was his greatest weakness. Now, I know people like that. I believe that I once was a person like that. His strength, he didn't know it, but his strength, it was his greatest weakness. And a beautiful prostitute was his downfall. You see, anything apart from God that we learn to rely upon in life is a false support. Those good things that we number among our strengths, okay, they're all temporary. They all have temporary value. But we need to use our strengths for God's glory. In humility, we need to acknowledge that whatever we've been given is a gift from God. And it's to be used for God. We can't leave that out. Because at the point where in humility we acknowledge that whatever strengths we have are from God and that we just want to use whatever He's given us for Him, it's at that point, and it's only at that point, when our personal strengths work for us rather than against us.